Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
It's been a long time coming, and I know a siren's gonna call. Indeed, it's been a long time coming. I've had the seed of inspiration implanted into my poem for a while now, and here we are, gestation complete. So this performance be special delivery, this piece an ode to maternity for all the poems I've carried, birthed, and raised from infancy. As I step into the maturation of this pen, I'm owning my power because the gift of life and death rests at the tip of one's tongue. So putting my pen to rest ain't up for discussion. Some of you too fond of sleeping, quick to disregard me or just willfully ignorant. When I'm well aware that the knowledge I'm kicking is in the amplification of my voice, resounding in the pieces I spit that give women and Black bodies a voice. So hear me when I say this quite disrespectfully. I don't give a fuck if you don't fuck with my poetry, because I'm unfuckwittable when it comes to matching my energy, and it's not a match holding a light that's brilliant enough to outshine me. Contrary to popular belief, this siren don't sing. She spits more than ring bells. She blares. So whenever the vibrations of my name moves your tongue, you better be damn sure it's with a hint of praise, because all this melanin's been kissed by the sun, and baby, we don't bask in shade. But I'm more than familiar with a hater or two, too afraid to compliment another queen's crown. But the queens I rule with reign different, like the second coming of the homemade with the pen. Trust me, we ain't a tribe you trying to war with, but my pen, just my pen alone. My pen will fuck around and leave your ego disfigured. Go figure that even a lady's got a trigger. Now, let's see, that's metaphors, wordplay. Yeah, straight like that. I'm giving it to you the hard way. See, if the flyer is bearing my image, then you gonna get this poem and all this energy today. So welcome to my stage. A woman walks into a home made for one, lethargically drags all of her tears up the steps, enters a room packed to the brim with possibilities and hope, but she's been hoarding broken promises in the closet. She kneels down at the mattress side of a bed she stretched to be made fit for two, clasps the vague feeling of refuge in her fingers, and bows her head solemnly and begins to pray, or rather survey her religion. Questions of contemplation fall from her lips, questions of love, her value, of how did we get here? Speaking of, where was he? Funny how her most heartfelt questions revolve around a man, one she prays for earnestly, hoping to earn a love he's not offering in the first place. When a woman prays the wrong prayer, she begs her God in vain, begs him for endurance, begs him for strength, to be strong enough to love him in spite of his flaws, to nurture him through his inadequacies, to gaze upon him in admiration when he isn't much to look at, and much less to hold. How does one embrace a phantom anyway? But you're too caught in a fantasy to realize the fuckery you're praising. When a woman kneels in devotion to a man she has no business sharing her divine essence with, she invokes the spirit of nothing but his presence. Like a successful seance, he is conjured a physical embodiment of what ifs, a shell of hallowed hallelujahs. A woman in love could manifest a lifetime of sorrows all on her own, just off of desire or addiction, and I do mean heavy on the dick. And in he walks, like the answer, like God's gift to women. God, you must be listening, right? The devil has ears too. And Lucifer's been listening to all the whimsy in her supplication, so ambitions come alive in the bedroom. His words embody the benevolent fishing lord that baits her into this repetitive cycle every time he reaches out with sunshine in his palms and a hurricane in his kiss, baptizing her in flattery, lackluster assurances, and everything she wants to hear. So hungry for reflex, she falls to her knees, opens her mouth in hopes of swallowing him in prayer, anticipating that this time the scripture he inks inside of her was for a testament of new chapters, new visions, new salvation, one that lifts her out of heartbreak. When a woman blesses a man in undeserved forgiveness, she descends deeper into damnation. That man becomes the prayer that slips through your fingers, reduce her heart to ashes, uses its cinders to decorate the bottoms of his feet, and proceeds to walk 500 miles around valid accusations. Walks 500 miles more through her self-dignity for a total of 1,000 miles and millions of steps he's taken away from her. But to endure the burn of hellfire just to feel his heat on her skin is worth just one more prayer. When invalid love becomes your religion, your worship is fruitless. Ladies, don't trade your God for no man. Don't trade your God for no man. Stop exchanging your principles for pleasure. Your heart wasn't designed to be dropped into collection plates. So keep your heart out these blasphemous boys' collection plates. Sis, they don't even like, let alone deserve you. I'm saying don't pray for no one to love you, because there's no such thing as tithing 10% of your soul, and God is no magician. However, miraculous things do happen when you love you enough to pray for yourself. Ladies, don't pray the wrong prayer. The struggle within the struggle, tied up in another struggle, is the reality that I am a Black woman living in America, meaning I'm always the last miss on the list, but the first to be dismissed by misguided men we're meant to survive the struggle with. Instead, it's a tug of war on who started, perpetuates, and continues to reignite this war amongst the masses of Black and brown bodies. It's a match of masses massively remastering and repackaging the strategy, but the ramifications remain the same. And get this, we not even in the game, just the pawns at play, right into their palms, practically providing our pale counterparts playing puppeteer, a perfect pulley system to pull our strings on. I'm saying they aren't even doing the heavy lifting anymore. We are positioning our fears in all the right places, internalized hate in all the right faces. It's a mirrored problem we're facing, but we're steady pointing the fingers with 3 pointing back. At what point do we stop? Take stock of unspoken contracts we sign. Despite the systemic disruptions, dysfunction, take accountability for our state, for this space in between us. We all are in a long distance relationship with love for one another, steady touting the titles of king and queen, yet too deep in the distinction of divinity, all while deepening the divide, delineating the difference of who does more damage doesn't do us any good, yet a disservice. We're dealing damage with a double-edged sword, dissecting the dysfunction rather than digging at the root, but some of y'all too afraid to dig that deep. Sealing the deal post, simply scanning the surface, and somehow sick when you sexing in them satin sheets, seeing semblance of Satan, too wrapped in them silky sixes. Since some sisters so stuck on snagging a solid 6 nigga, come on, you know, he gotta be 6 foot pulling 6 figures, pushing a 600 horsepower whip. Yeah. I see the seductive saboteurs that he's sitting and standing, setting us back, said he's scrounging for change that can lead to the bank or buy you a bag, but you better believe your brain be what you really should flip. But fellas, I ain't forgot about you, because it ain't just the issue of cash that's petty. When a bunch of brothers out here bigging out Becky. Uh, now, don't get me wrong. Love is love. But if the justification of your situation comes at a specific expense at downing your sis, then I do declare you's a dunce too. What? You want a beauty with big boobs and itty bitty waist, a big old booty, and a bobblehead. Come on now, all you want is this on your D, the one in your pants, or to all your decisions. Don't go generalizing agendas just to meet your agenda when in general the double standards is fucking us both. Some of you got that shit backwards. Shit is all mixed up. This is more than miscommunication. This is misaligned flames. And you wonder why we keep burning the bridges that can bring us over to salvation, lead us to finding each other again. I'm not saying meld the monolith of melanin. I'm just saying we could do better than this. We need honest and open conversations without any preconceived notions or need to be right. We need to fight to find understanding rather than going toe to toe with one another, because I need and love my sisters just as much as I need and love my brothers.
When I'm alone, I never think of you. In fact, this poem is not about you or thoughts or loneliness. It is about the ghosts you left behind in the corridors of my cerebral cortex. And everyone knows ghosts bring friends because misery loves company, so my depression dresses itself in your hand-me-downs, echoing the memory of your voice. Sometimes I find myself yelling at walls that still smell like your perfume. If they could talk, I wouldn't even listen, couldn't even care, shouldn't even miss you. And I don't. I never think of you. I put your laughter on a funeral pyre and watched it burn. We weren't a good match anyway, just enough of a spark to cremate happiness. Scattered the ashes across my Appalachian heart. I swear, I've carried the bodies of so many dead relationships. I can't tell the difference between myself and a hearse, both big, black, and dead inside, a procession of past lovers dressed in apology. I am not sorry. I don't think of you. Even when your specter makes spectacle of my failed expectations, when I am alone, I perform seances and exorcisms trying to rid this space of haunted horrors. And I wake up outside with a halo made of salt, a shell of myself, and I am the ghost you left behind. So this is not about you. It is a eulogy for a broken heart still beating itself up, a poltergeist plagiarizing passion, but never regret, never rejection, never the reflection you made on this broken mirror life. In 7 years' time, I won't remember you. When I'm alone, I don't think of you.
Sad King John would like to say hello. Or Sad King John would like to welcome you. Sad King John would like to explain himself. Or Sad King John would like to confess. Sad King John would like to show you the fragments and tell you which elbow did the bumping and offer to pay generously for the damages. Sad King John would like to stop being so loud. Or maybe he's too quiet. Or Sad King John would like to stop saying stupid stuff when he was trying to be nice. What does nice mean anyways? Sad King John would like to sing, but he doesn't. Or Sad King John would like to apologize for how few lines he's written and how often he speaks them. Sad King John would like to create something beautiful. Or Sad King John would like to smash it all to bits. Sad King John would like to forgive himself But sad King John knows why they left. Sad King John would like to watch the city lights blink and hear the hum of the cars passing by and be still. Or sad King John would just like to say good night.
Fate impels the footprints that I take. Destiny propels my soul like the source that blends us all together. Patience, like a race, lies in the colored flag at startup and shows that it breasts the tape triumphantly beyond the finish line. Emptiness is an open wound I try to seal while my tears run like a river, and charity is the joy of the soul's selfless love. I often find its hidden self in unexpected actions, a smile, a gift, touch, or kind deed. It is as if love walks with me, seeking a channel to express itself, a flame to someone's firewood, or the light that points the way to the cessation of all sorrows. When the rays of dawn emerge, when the sunlight catches the spark on the Elysian lap of paradise, I pray my words echo in your core, my spirit whispers in the magna of your being. I am right here. I walked only through the sunrise to a realm that heaven has made ready for my respite. Yet will my grandeur enchant like the scent of redolent roses, my laughter resonates in the hills and valleys afar. The throne of the beloved beckons and I must go, yet it's no farewell, but an awakening to the glories of the beyond. I will come again, for how can the sun not set when the day is waning? How will the willow waltz without the breeze fashioned from my love? We are together as breath in breaths, the sound of silence amid sleep, the soaring eagle which will never dream that it can fly without feathers. Again, is flight possible without the lapis lazuli of the perennial heavens? Love soars like the phoenix, a shimmering fire of longing, patient like the sunset, knowing that each day will fade. The quintessence of spirit is like daybreak, a light, a nameless emptiness which permeates all things, filling them up with a tower of heaven. Where am I not? The ray that dances in the horizon manifests itself in the cuteness of a child's smile. So too you will see my face, hear my songs in the morning's dew, feel my essence in the old photographs of pleasant memories. Didn't I agonize in the Garden of Gethsemane? Yet I rose again from an old rugged cross, ascended the darkness, even as Orion merged with the twinkle in your heart. For my drop melds with the ocean, which equally blends in me, for we are one. The decay in my sepulchre is not the end of this life, for I am an eternal journey.
A diamond's value is judged on brilliance and clarity. Brilliance, which creates sparkle, is how white light refracts through the diamond. Clarity is how a diamond's surface allows for greater brilliance. There must be a point, though, when brilliance impedes clarity. Every day I wake, I step barefooted onto carpeted floor, yet find myself walking on broken glass. Glass sharp enough to pierce the soles of my feet. I step into the shower, and instead of smooth towel, there is broken glass. I slip into thick, soft winter socks and comfortable boots, and every step I take is on broken glass. This glass is not composed of silica, sodium, calcium, and carbon. It is a mishmash of stress, depression, anxiety, trauma, and turmoil. Every so often, I meet another broken glass person. I know they are a broken glass person because all broken glass people have broken glass person radar. Likewise, the other broken glass person will realize I'm a broken glass person. While we tried to hide being broken glass people from non-broken glass people, we can discuss our broken glass with other broken glass people without judgment, creating makeshift chosen family communities of broken glass people. Every piece of broken glass has a shelf life. Like sea glass that gets tumbled smooth by ocean sand with ocean current, Each shard of a broken glass person's broken glass gets tumbled by being stepped on daily, pushed into sand by decisions made, only to resurface repeatedly till it has been worn as smooth as sea glass. When that happens, the broken glass person retrieves it and transforms it into a smile, or poem, or painting, or frittata, or sweet potato, pistachio, pina colada pancakes. The non-broken glass people who bear witness to this formerly soul-piercing piece of broken glass will marvel at its brilliance. But broken glass people will know what they are experiencing is a piece of broken glass that has achieved clarity.
Ptolemy's army, crack cocaine, heroin, confused as farming, corrupt cops, empty coffee cups. One eats as the bunny hops. Broken down doors, major seizures. Get down as bodies drop to the floor. This will only take a minute. Another hour passes. Clothes, hats, papers scattered on the floor. People stooped over on all fours. They left with nothing, no proof. What's in the pot? A cow's hoof. Clicked on the television. They say they don't know where to start looking. I say a good start would be at your offices. Okay, let's start snooping around looking for clues. Find out what's what and who's who. Prisons are getting bigger, pockets are getting fatter. I'm just trying to keep everything together. I ain't misbehaving just like Fats Waller. This war on drugs has just gotten better.
Ever since I was a child, I would take things apart, put them back together. Legos were my favorite toy. See, technically, it was Mega Blocks because we couldn't afford Legos. What I'm saying is, I really liked building things. I just never had the right materials. There was always a piece missing, a screw stripped, an Allen key I lost, and also, fuck Allen keys. My mother told me once when families passed away, the men would build coffins out of wood and screws, place it in the living room for days until the goodbyes turned sour. But now, they build caskets out of carbon fiber, steel, cloth interior, built in factories. They try to make death beautiful. It seems they've cornered the market on grief. Once, I helped a friend build a crib for their newborn and panicked that the baby would die if I made a mistake. I no longer build things for incoming souls. Think it best to focus on the here and now, building with bear hugs, bars, and books, a community of poets who understand the assignment, or don't, but will hand it in on time. And I'm learning the difference between a community and a casket is who you let down.
My doctor says we mustn't let depression stay beckoning from my bed. Shouldn't slip into somnolent complacency and let her dream my days away. He always asks me if I feel better from the last time we did this. A quick survey of the disposition of thousands of variables, and I'm just going to say what comes into my head. He'll nod because he really does care and ask if I have the same pharmacy. New pills come marching in to join the old in my daily dose. All my side effects are twirling round on their broken axes, drugs doing the damage instead of the storm. Sometimes we have to submit to brutality to be healed and brutalize ourselves in the process. Some days, she sits on my shoulder, whispering her dark interpretations, dire implications, unholy expectations, echoing walls that never stayed the same for long, and childhood beds that were never home. My friend points at her perch from time to time and asks me if it's empty. I'll nod because I don't want him to worry, but she giggles when I lie. Lying beside me later, eyes locked like lovers, fingers interlaced, she sings her lullaby, a siren song for a man who never sails, some nobody spitting loneliness, slipping away on the underside of the sheep I keep counting in between these verses. I dreamt my doctor flew me out over mountain lakes, passing between peaks, swooping low and suddenly swerving. We plummeted towards the water. Final thoughts flashed, but the crash didn't come. And I woke amongst the debris of a day that hasn't even started yet.
Blessed be the ones who understand the wonders of my motherland. Quintessentially rich in many assets, a soil runs rivers of oil, gold, and diamonds, of tanzanite, the hue of gleaming gems. Her profoundly mesmerizing landscapes and wildlife are a sought-for signature of her magnificence. Her griot tells stories of her ancestral opulence, her greatness and contributions to man in this cradle of civilization. Her cute children playing and laughing, hopping around firesides of stone and wood, conversing with wild animals before the invaders came, affecting their gleeful spirit. Her vast heart nourishes the lushness of her flora and fauna, her magnificent waterfalls, ascending with the peerless grandeur of her mountains, the gracefulness, allure, and elegance of her people, the biodiversity of her majestic Nile River, perhaps Africa's greatest resource. Her core was always mystical, like her prophets, adventurous, like her many nomads, jovial, her women with cheeks and lips like sunshine, feet that always seemed to dance, hands clapping even in the non-harvesting segments of her seasons. Strange clouds of avarice and greed arrive from foreign lands, decimating the sanctity of a continent, defiling the virtues of its people in centuries of exploitation, segregating the joyful spirit of Ubuntu with the wilds of divide and conquer. I can still hear the drums of my motherland beating, a sacred heart of fortitude and resilience, entreating to the light, her bleeding soul, cupping its hands in prayer, offering its numerous scars to the love which gave it birth freely. My thoughts turn to Kilimanjaro, a majestic and proud sentinel in the east, a peaceful giant gleaming with the light of heaven, to the bewildering Ngorongoro crater and magical Lake Manyara. I walk with rhinos, giraffes, and elephants in the famous Serengeti National Park, become one with the breathtaking view of an amazing 1,000 bird species, lions, stunning baobab trees, and spellbinding nature migration of wildebeest and unspoiled beauty, described as the new wonder of the world and the pinnacle of excellence nonpareil. Traces of the past are still evident in certain museums, but the old colonial masters are long gone, and Arusha is a fast-thriving city of the East African community. It awakes at dawn to the call of prayer, numerous ethnic voices, but one people, all speaking Kiswahili, singing like flamingos and starlings, the notes of Amani, of harmony. Not far from the famous Arusha monument, I converse with my Masai Mara brothers. They eat nyama, while we speak of the land and cattle, me eating ugali and kachumbari with my hands, listening to the rhythm of drums, the women a kaleidoscope of Masai Shuka and Kitenge, dancing with energy and passion. Excuse me. In Uganda, Lake Nyabikari's blue glimmering and still waters nourishes the rolling green hills, the hot springs surrounding its vista and lush green foliage, its gray overhanging clouds. Olumo Rock and the Benin city walls in Nigeria are truly reverential. Mama Africa, they try to stifle your spirit, drawing your breath into a sea of blackness, but you rose higher even than Angelou, a piercing light shining on your bustling markets of Accra, Arusha, Nairobi, Harare, Johannesburg, Addis Ababa, and Lagos, to name a few. Your Rwandan streets shine as its fast-flowing economy, and I travel out of this bodily cage to pay respect to its immaculate pavements, its Hutus, Tutsis, and Mo waltz into one single melody of harps, singing the same song. The mysteries of your Sodoro hot springs and the holiness of Lalibela enchants me, even as I visit Lucy in your museum, taking the aroma of delicious coffee, eating injera with my fingers, and chatting with your elite gold medal athletes on Mount Toto, taking nutritional beso for strength. Mama Africa, ripped of your innocence, faced with bigotry, inequity, and injustice, love still lights up your inner suns and moons, conspiring to align your innate synergy so you continue to glisten anew. Let us pay tribute to your spirit of tolerance and love, proclaiming its continued victory over adversity, the sacrifice of your people, still striving to protect your assets from heinous shadows, your continued march to overcome division, your ceaseless worship and drive for excellence. Kosi sikeleli Africa. Malupanganisu pondewayo izwa imitandazo yetu kozi sikelela tina lusapo wayo.
If love was a weapon, she'd be a Black woman, lips loaded with lullabies and war cries, hips swaying with balance of heaven and hell, voice slick with sermons and side eyes. She'd have a trigger for a tongue that could birth kingdoms or burn bridges with a whisper. She ain't made of steel, she is steel, forged in fire and fried fish Fridays, seasoned with scriptures and sass. Her silence is more dangerous than any man-made missile. She don't need no safety on. She is the safety, the come home after chaos, the don't make me come down there, the prayer whispered between gunshots and paychecks. She carries revolution in her ribcage, grandma's gift tucked behind molars and mama's mourning stitched in her Sunday's best. A whole bloodline of women who made miracles out of make do. She's reason standing still ain't just a phrase, it's a flex. Call her loaded, not with pain, but with praise, with poems passed down like pocket knives and prayers wrapped in lace. Every bruise is like a blueprint, and every scar is a sacred scripture etched in her melanin. You see, she don't need reloading. She rebirths, shoots truth from hip, healing from holler. God ain't just make her, he molded her from thunder, lined her spine with psalms, crowned her with don't try me. He did his thing when he made her. He didn't hold back, not one single drop of divinity. She ain't just love, she's the battlefield, the blessing, because you don't survive centuries of war and still love this loud unless you're the weapon and reason the war ever ended. So next time you see her, don't flinch. Stand firm in her presence and understand you aren't just looking at a woman. You're witnessing what happens when God makes love lethal and calls her a Black queen.
The secret to surviving sinkholes. It seemed to happen so organically. I decided to stay in bed more than 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, then an hour, and so on and so forth. Tears happened for no discernible reason, out of the blue, without warning, without trigger, without help. I would have stayed in bed. This sudden sadness didn't just happen, it manifested. It was waiting in the wings to throw me the worst kind of surprise party. No people, no presents, no cake, but plenty of candles to burn down my life. My self-esteem, my sense of worth. Without help, I would have accepted the storyline the bed told me that it was the safest place for my existence. But a bed that talks is the voice of depression. Depression can seem like a cul-de-sac sinkhole that sucks in a car parked on the street, consumes a fire hydrant, takes a bite of sidewalk, then attacks a front yard, working its way up a walkway to the front door. It politely rings the doorbell before swallowing the door. A family of 4 and 2 dogs have to escape through the backyard, abandon everything they own, even cars, because the sinkhole expanded westward, engulfing the driveway. The inestimable speed of a sinkhole acts like depression when the word chemical is bandied about by a doctor, but no words used by doctors are bad words. Some words are just crutches, something temporary till the person who listens to their bed instead of their head starts recognizing the existence of their heart, their skin, their soul. Their peripheral vision is hampered by a hoodie the bed gave them as a gift at the surprise party that surprisingly never ended, but now the owner of the bed has asked for help. I have learned I can yell surprise at the bed, get up, and walk away.
I'm trying to see through a cloud of doubt. Not believing in myself is like a plant that fails to sprout. The constant worry drains on a flurry of ruminating thoughts. Each one creates room in my head and gets caught in a web of lies that I tell myself instead. When I overthink, the flaws of my internal dialogue pushes me to the brink of badness and the verge of sadness. But the fear of being inadequate drives me to never quit. Trying to outdo my past is tough, but what matters most is knowing that I am enough. Pictures and poems can cement a legacy beyond your last breath.
Not harsh enough? Hey, starch them cuffs. I sort of like their sofa. I like their cars and stuff. Turn them in by lunchtime, grab their favorite chair. They'll be cleared out by 11. Soon they'll just be cluttering up the jail. Repudiating humanism. This is a mechanistic age with compulsory church attendance. Public prayer is now all the rage. Everyone wears their AI watcher. Best not leave home without it, Nacho. Even at bedtime, be no more a whisperer. You better shout about it, mister. Keep your batteries all charged up. Sure, it's only a misdemeanor, but never doubt it. Just shut up. But if you're caught without it, oh my dear, you'll learn just what it's like when your ears and fingertips most assuredly will feel the burn. And when your street block captain checks your record out online, if your watch refused to shine, you'll be emailed, brother, one big old healthy fine. No more lawn boys at the neighbors. All the gardening will be done for white folks by prison labor. All those teachers and professors, no more highfalutin men of letters. We don't need colleges or universities. They'll no longer think there are betters. We've emptied them all. We ain't got no more need. All the doctors work for insurance, so if you're poor, you'll need endurance. The whole thing runs on greed. I've turned in all my neighbors. They were a suspicious lot. And when they left, we gathered up all those things they bought. We got great employment surges, although it's centered in a few select and favorite churches. Everyone must sign up for compulsory attendance. No more private morality. And on the other hand, you'll never more be friendless. And when the churchy state rightward lurches, you'll see attendance kept at churches. And when the church enforcers at the door hand out the new commandments, you better hope he still signs your churchy list attendance. So many hours of prayer each day, you'll need to get your card stamped by the neighbor anyway. You'll have to buy the leader's picture. It's mandatory, you don't say, or else you get a lecture, and they'll check on their next visit the very next day. They'll be downloading your prayer history. How fervent are your studies? The latest revision of the sacred Trumptations mysteries, the latest definition of religion. And after they've rounded up the brown ones and all the political media clown ones, the Dems were next, and them rhinos, they're all hexed, into the gulags, all them proud, profound ones, just to have their collars stretched. Those college professors were gathered to stand before their state confessors. Each classroom has its Bible belt, and should you, without your homework, be caught, that position will be a stressor unless you've offered a healthy bribe, and for a while before you safely strode back to your tribe. Schools now renounce formal learning. Didn't you smell all those books a-burning? Not much left for the discerning student, 'cause carrying books for study, that isn't prudent. Best be an athlete now. All them art and music classes are long lost and over. Boy, and how. Idiocracy is the new ideal. No more transgender surgery, that was never real. No more punishment for perjury. No more stool pigeon with a great big reveal. All the January 6th prisoners have been knighted, and all the choral horror hoodlums are delighted. And once a year they climb the dome to remind us all that Donnie's home.
I miss you. I look up at the sky and it seems so blue. I miss you, like a plate of hot food. Who am I to argue about how I feel? Am I a fool? People looking for love in this world, sometimes we walk on by not noticing their hurt or or the lives they have lived. Thank God for giving me the spirit to give. I repel anything less. I live a life of bliss.
I pledge allegiance to the flag in this messed up state of America, burning hypocrisy for which it stands, visibility, divisible, several nations, some distant from the hands of God, through suffrage in which it stands, no nation under God, always pain and prosperity for some, never for all. Dear society, wake up. And no, this ain't no social justice piece. I refuse to write about the land of the free when living comes with a small fee. Look around. I know you can tell who sold their soul to the highest bidder. You see, I was 19 when I seen one of my best friends die. Shh. Hush, faggot baby, don't say a word. 'Cause if you do, it'll go unheard. I told her not to walk to work that day, but she would always say, boy, you know I gotta keep this stomach fit and tight with track season near in sight because it was the middle of the wintertime. So I said, you right. All right, I see you tonight. That was the night I saw what bullying can do to your insides. When you're not afraid to face your fears, invincible she seemed, to be able to conquer anything near her path or direction. But not this time. As if she committed to the crime of being gay on the wrong dime, copping a Louis Vuitton duffel bag that she worked her butt off to purchase. Four people approached, came close like how brothers be, and she was beat. And as the seasons changed, like last summer's lingering heat, when I got to her, she was already 20 pills deep. As her head laid on the side of the tub, dripping blood from her mouth that covered her teeth, the same color her eyes leaked. I saw it when she grown, looked up to me to speak and said, I just want to sleep. I couldn't help but to scream as her body began to lean over on me. What did you do? Demanding the answers as tears streamed down my cheeks like rivers of disbelief, you see. A figment of the imagination everyone failed to see. This young woman was really me. I know you're trying to make sense of how this could take place. You see, being fake never makes sense. All her life, even as a child, she tried to make sense of things. Everything is not as it seems. Stepped on the dating seams, dressed in makeup and undesirable dreams, boldly beginning, building to be he. Hiding what everyone neglected to see. She was always overshadowed, internalizing everything. The world called her drama queen, a prima donna who loved the boys, boasting, bragging, chasing fads, and would do anything just to not get mother mad. And girls gushing glamorous glories or trying to pass time lying and telling evil stories because that's the triggering part that folks find boring. But the question is, will she even live to tell this story? Only time can tell. Once a faggot, always a faggot, they said. Just remember, Faggots take a while before it's burnt out. Isn't that right, hypocrites?
Oh, to the men, the real men, the crossing guards, the plumbers, the electricians, the iron workers. How I love a man in uniform, the cashiers, the baggers, the valet parkers, the principals, the janitors, the blue collars, the white collars, the hustlers, the men who order flowers, who open doors, who hug their daughters, who love their wives, who raise their sons, the men who move through society unnoticed, the men who run the city on their backs. This is not for the predators who prey on young, the effing losers who beat women because they can't beat men, men of slime, of dirt, of grime. This is for the men that beat the crap out of people like that. This is for the uncles that scare nieces' boyfriends and take nephews fishing, for the men that wear tutus and play with babies, the Mr. Feeneys, the Big Brother Spencers, the Uncle Phils, the Carl Winslows, and the Steve Urkels, the friend zone men, the ones who write poetry about love and loneliness, who don't know if they can go until they ask their wives, men who build homes, not abandoned buildings, men who never had fathers or mothers to show them how to love their children, but they never stopped trying to love their children. Even the men that effed up as fathers but become excellent grandfathers, who didn't know how to show up but never stopped trying, who uphold honor and integrity, who love God and hate bullies, hard-working, callous hands men, who protect women and children, who love their mothers, mama's boys, grandma's boys, who suffer in silence and never complain, men who never hear thank you or I love you, men who just want to be good men and take care of their families, men like my friends, like my uncles, men like my husband. This is for the men.
A lot of people out there are calling me hardcore. Yeah. A lot of people out there thinking I'm cold and calloused. A lot of people thinking I'm living on the edge. That I'm insane in the membrane and I'm a time bomb and I could go ballistic at any second. And all those things could be true, yeah. But that doesn't ignore the fact that I came here to Viridian City for one reason and one reason only. I want to be the very best, yeah, like no one ever was. To catch 'em all is my real test, and to train 'em is my cause. Dig it! The history beckons the Macho Man Randy Savage in the Pokemon universe. I'm walking a fine line between life and immortality, or perhaps sanity and insanity. Yeah, perhaps the macho madness has consumed me, but soon enough, the Kanto region will feel my poly wrath. Yeah, I'm gonna do the thing in the ring with my Needle King. Gonna bite you with my Raichu. Gonna make you croak with my Machoke. Gonna eradicate you with my Eradicate, and you will fear the might of my Dragonite. Yeah, you have more of a chance of crawling through the eye of a sewing needle than you and your Pokemon do at being able to handle the Machoke madness. Yeah, my Pokemon will be all over the place, and your Pokemon will be helpless to look to the left, to look to the right, to spin around in 360 degrees. But all they gotta do is look up because my Pokemon are on top. Then now and forever, yeah. And this message goes out to every gym leader in the land. You've been put on notice because, comparatively speaking, your Pokemon are nothing but grains of sand in the Sahara Desert, yeah. And my Pokemon team is the entire desert. Many grains of sand have flown through by the hands of my mega powers, yeah. My Pokemon are the lords and masters of the universe, and there is nothing that's gonna keep us down for long. We are the cream of the crop, yeah. And we will rise to the top in any battle, truth unraveled, no promises, just guarantees. Oh, yeah. Poem.
Bamboo may bend to the ground in the midst of the storm, but it does not break. Oh, baby, aren't you strong? Oh, baby, gotta hold on. Oh, baby, must have mistaken calling me baby for bamboo. The way he so gracefully folds me over in the bedroom, but bends me backward over my boundaries in the midst of his storms. Selfishness surges in settling, just to resurface and swallow me again. Woman, bamboo, what a flex. Bending with the wind, but does not break. And Black women are supposed to be the strongest thing walking earth, grounded in resilience, but rooted in restraint. Is that why we are often tested, pressed, and forgotten at the feet of the men we love? Oh, baby, aren't you strong? But there's a softer side of you yet. Clothing made of your fibers are softer than cotton, more durable than synthetics, healthier too. Oh, baby, gotta hold on to yourself more than any romance. 'Cause ain't that just like a man to wear the soft covering of his lady's love over to another woman's house? Wrap her in the luxurious fabric custom made for him, sharing its warmth without your permission. Oh, baby, aren't you strong enough to bear the weight as expected? Did you know that bamboo could be stripped down so thin, like patience, confidence, reduced to just strands of self? Bamboo, baby. Despite how broken or battered, ain't that just like a woman that even when fractured, still strong at even a fraction of her strength? Aren't you strong enough to close your mouth shut around egos you can't swallow? Because the last time, the gritty sharpness of shut the fuck up almost shredded your esophagus, left your voice for dead, bleeding out amongst all the promises broken in disrespect. Aren't you strong? And bamboo, such a pliable plant, so be compliant in the complacency that contradicts. Bamboo, baby, gotta hold on to the coerced apologies that mourn in the graveyards of our silence. Dead tongues don't talk back. Teeth heavy as tombstones lie in the sacrifice of our being a woman trying to please a man. And ain't I a woman? Always trying to please my man. Gotta hold on to the fact that you deserve to exist and to properly be loved back while doing it. It is said that bamboo can grow up to 35 inches a day, and maybe that's why we're able to regrow our hearts so fast. After every earth-shattering experience, regrow, reconnect, and try again. Bamboo, baby. Stop. allowing others to cut you down and build warm places to live in while you remain unhoused and unloved. The next time a man tries to uproot you, I pray it is to build with you and not use you to build something you don't even feel at home or safe in. Bound, oh, baby, aren't you strong? Bound, oh, baby, gotta hold on. Bound.